Hello and welcome our beloved viewers to RTD's News English Edition. Tonight for the highlights we got Intermodal Africa 2021. Djibouti hosts the Gora of Global Transport and Logistics. And on the international scene, fires in Greece. 300 people evacuated near Athens. Those were the highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The Intermodal Africa continues to be a global reference. It is in this context that opened this morning the 24th edition under the auspice of the Prime Minister. This annual conference and exhibition on ports, transport and logistics of its title in English, Intermodal Africa, started early this morning under the chairlights of the Kempinski. This forum, a real laboratory of ideas and maritime prospects, participates in the reflections of tomorrow with global and national experts. In other words, these 2 days will allow to exchange on themes and current issues, but also the challenge of international trade, global and regional investments. Upon his arrival, Prime Minister Mr. Abdelkader Kamil Mohammed was welcomed by the Minister of Infrastructure, Mr. Hassan Mohammed, the President of Ports and Free Zones, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, and members of the government. This event was attended by more than 500 professionals, including the finance import management, port engineers, importers and exporters, shipping company managers, freight forwards, logistics contracts, terminal management companies, railroad managers and suppliers of port equipment and services in Europe, Middle East and Africa, bringing together many renowned personalities. This international forum will be a real melting pot of exchange on the subjects of strategic importance worldwide in relation to all modes of transport and will allow the national executives of this sector to acquire detailed and complete information on the latest technology, services, and products of the various fields. Following this event, the President of Ports and Free Zones, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, emphasized on the importance and key elements of this forum. Let's listen.
It's an honor for me to participate to the opening ceremony of this forum and my organization to be host of this event. Today, we welcome experts from across the world to participate in the trend and challenges global transportation and logistics is facing. Djibouti is proud to welcome all of you once again. We meet an important moment of our industry and global trade more broadly with the pandemic posing us challenge, but also encouraging us to change the way we do in business. In such difficult context, for all shipping stakeholders, we were the first country to allow crew change in Djibouti in response to a joint call by UNCTAD and IMO. Today, the global economy sits at a crucial junction. All alliance between the countries which used to drive forward the global agenda are now splitting. However, as a former leaders letters, news one stepping forward. The African continent is developing fast and has the most dynamic economy in the world, according to IMF. 5 of the 10 fastest growing economies are in Africa. African population is also projecting to reach 2.4 billion population by 2050. Africa is the future of the growth in this planet. The continent is also located at the heart of global trade routes, and it is a vital connection between Americas, Europe, and Asia. Despite challenging global dynamic, the importance of trade maritime to global growth remain constant. Here in Djibouti, we are proud to be playing a key role in Africa growth. we are driving forward logistics capacities in Africa for Africa. We sit one of the most important, busiest maritime routes. 90% of the trade is carried by sea, and we are recognized that the position affords us.
The Minister of Infrastructure, Mr. Hassan Hamad, stressed the importance of this world-class conference that addresses current issues and challenges on global and regional trade and also investment. On the other side, Prime Minister Mr. Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed also stated that it is a great opportunity to bring together and see world-renowned speakers in a panel of senior officials and executives from all categories versed in the fields of transport and logistics. He continued saying that this positive dynamic and the overall performance resulting from the strategy adopted very early and which led to the breakup of the port terminal of yesteryear. The interest that the government attached to the development and competitiveness of our port and logistics infrastructure is in line with the policy of the President of the Republic as set out in the Djibouti 2035 vision. Once the speech is finished, the Prime Minister accompanied and the members of the government made a guided tour on the various stands. This visit of the exhibition gathered more than 50 companies specialized in the field of maritime trade in several African ports. Expose the various services they offer under the luster of the Great Hall of Nakheel. This exhibition is also an opportunity for exhibitors and sponsors to establish direct contacts with the delegates face-to-face during this major annual event of the trade show and conference on international maritime transport for Africa. After the official opening ceremony, it was time for the panel discussions. The first panel discussion brought together around the same table the President of the Authority of Ports and Free Zones of Djibouti, Mr. Obakar Umar Hadi, in the company of the Chairman of the Port of Berbera and the Director General of the Ethiopian Shipping Companies. This was followed by another discussion between officials of African ports, including South Africa and Namibia, but also Djibouti, including Mr. Abdullahi Addawi, Director General of the Port of Dorale, and the representative of the DMP, Mrs. Habon Abdurrahman Adensher. In this sense, the various representatives of African countries, African and Dutch experts discussed all issues related to the development of ports. The Red Sea is a sea route very borrowed by the world trade for more than 25 million containers. It is in this perspective that the experts and African officials of the ports discuss at length how the African countries can benefit from this trade main. Moving on to the Minister of Defense, in charge of relations with Parliament, Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed Burhan, received this morning a delegation of the European Union led by the commander of the Unified Operation, Vice Admiral Mr. Jose M. Noes Torrent. The European Union delegation was introduced to the minister by the European Union Ambassador to IGAD, Mr. Aden O'Hara. During this meeting, the minister and the Vice Admiral discussed the security context prevailing in the region. During this meeting, the Minister of Defense in charge of the relations with the Parliament, Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed, praised the historical links in the privileged relations between Djibouti and the European Union. For his part, Vice Admiral Jose expressed his thanks to the minister for the warm welcome given to the delegation he leads. The meeting was closed by the traditional family photo. The diaspora of Djibouti in London was very pleased to learn that a strong delegation of their country led by two ministers, namely Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, and Mr. Abdul Karim Adensher, was in London. To express this joy, the National Diaspora organized a musical dinner in honor of the delegation. The organizers were keen to demonstrate the pleasure they have to receive government officials in England. They also expressed their full support for the development policy of the country of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh. It should be noted that the evening took place in an atmosphere of joy and fertile jubilation, demonstrating the unity of the Djiboutian people. The evening ended with promises to meet again in London or in Djibouti. The two ministers took this opportunity to express their gratitude and appreciation to their compatriot for the warm and frontal welcome they received. They conveyed the warm greetings of the President of the Republic and the First Lady. They indicated that they are deeply convinced that the Djiboutian community in London is united and supportive of national values, unity, equality, peace, and the project of an emerging Djibouti of the President of the Republic. The ministries also indicated that the government of Djibouti is fully listening to them. They wish them good luck and a good continuation. A validation workshop on the third National Communication on Climate Change was organized this morning at the Sheraton Hotel by the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. This workshop is part of the implementation of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is one of the 3 Rio Conventions adopted during the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. This workshop will last 2 days, and the opening session was chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development, Mr. Dini Abdullah Umar, and saw the participation of the Director of Environment, Mr. Hussein, the Deputy Director Idris Ismail, and international consulants. The President of the Sudanese Consul received yesterday the farewell visit of the Djiboutian Ambassador, Mr. Mohammed Ali Bari. During the meeting, the President of the Sudanese Consul has welcomed the remarkable work done by the diplomat Djibouti within the framework of his mission in Sudan. For his part, the ambassador emphasized the privileged cooperation relations between the two brotherly and friendly countries, whose partnership now touches various and varied fields. The President of the Sudanese Consul expressed his wishes of success to the Djiboutian diplomat in the continuation of its course. Ambassador Mohammed Ali Bari, in a brief speech after being honored by the chairman of the Sudanese Transitional Council, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, expressed his thanks and gratitude to the government and people of Sudan for the warm welcome and hospitality, stressing that he conveyed to the President of the Transitional Council the greetings of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh. Moving on to the international scene, unbearable temperatures devastated landscapes. Several countries around the Mediterranean were again hit by major fires on Thursday, 3 August, in Greece, especially north of Athens. Some 300 people were evacuated according to the fire department. Further south, Greece was faced with nearly 80 fires on Tuesday, 40 of which were still active. According to the Deputy Minister for Civil Protection, we are facing extreme conditions with temperatures around 45 C in Attica, he said. After Mount Penteli last week, it was Mount Parnes, the second of the 3 hills surrounding Athens, that was on fire Tuesday, spreading thick smoke over the Greek capital. 3 villages in the vicinity were evacuated. By this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to stay safe. We wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.